Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be going over how to read crochet diagrams, and it's so easy to read crochet diagrams because sometimes the pattern when it's written it's so hard, but once you know how to read a diagram it paints a clear picture. So today, before I show you how to read a crochet diagram, we're just going to go over a few stitches, a few symbols that you might see when you're reading your diagrams. So the first symbol that you might see is an oval shape, which is the chain stitch, the simple dot, which is the slip stitch. Next, you might see a X or a T, which is a single crochet. Next up, you might see a T. Whenever you see a T in your pattern, that simple means that you'd have to do a half double crochet. If you see a T with a slash in the middle, you will therefore do a double crochet. If you see a T and two slashes, it's a triple crochet, and so on. If you see the V stitches going down with a slash in the middle, that simple means that you're gonna single crochet two together. The same thing if you see one with three, you're gonna do three single crochet together. Cross, you'll do two double crochet together, and so on. So these are just some of the basic stitches that you might come across when you are reading your diagram. So let's dive into how to read a crochet diagram. To my channel, in today's video I'm gonna teach you how to read a crochet diagram. It is so easy to read a crochet diagram, so today I'm just gonna walk you through the process. And whenever you're reading a crochet diagram, the foundation chain is always read from left to right. So let's just go over some basic stitches that you might come across while you're reading your diagrams. So the first thing let's focus on are whenever you see ovals here, it tells you that you need to chain. So basically you're going to count how many chains, how many ovals you see here, and that will be your foundation chain. When you get to the second row, you're going to read from right to left, and it's going to keep going in a pattern. Left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left, and that's how you'll create this pattern. So let's dive into this pattern a little more. So let's go to the first row. So the first row tells me that I have my foundation chain at the bottom, so I'm going to chain one. And whenever you see the plus sign, it simply means that you're going to do a single crochet. So this pattern tells me that I'm going to do a single crochet in the second and third chain of this pattern. Next, it tells me that I'm going to do, in the fifth chain, I'm going to do a fan stitch. And a fan stitch is basically a component of multiple double crochets. So let's talk about this stitch here. So whenever you see the stitch that looks like a T, it simply means that you are going to double crochet. So in this instance, it tells me that I'm going to do 3 double crochets in my stitch right here, and I'm going to do a chain one because the oval tells me that I need to chain. So I'm going to do a chain one, then I'm going to do 3 double crochets to the side. Let's keep working on it. So then it tells me when I get to this chain here, I'm going to do a single crochet, I'm going to chain one, then do a single crochet. As I keep going down my pattern line, it tells me when I get to this chain, I'm going to do a fan stitch, and the way we work a fan stitch is I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain one, 3 double crochets. Next is, it tells me we got back to the plus sign. The plus sign tells me that I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Remember, when you get to the second row, you are reading from left to right now. So it tells me now that I have to chain 2 for my pattern. We get back to this stitch here, and it tells me, this stitch tells me that I have to do a double crochet. So whenever you see these lines with this stick, that simply means that you have to do a double crochet. Let's keep going. It tells me that after I've completed my double crochet, I need to chain 3. So I'm going to chain 3, and when we get to this double crochet, I'm gonna go inside of in between my chain space. So I'm going to create a single crochet in between my chain space. Next, it tells me that I have to chain 3. This stitch here simply tells me this is a V-stitch, and the way you create a V-stitch is simply doing 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet in between the chain space that you've created below. Let's keep going. Next my pattern tells me that I have to chain 3, 1 single crochet, chain 3, and do 2 double crochet in the single crochet below. And reading diagram patterns are so easy, and once you get the gist and the idea of it, it makes you go super fast.